Hello there, I'm Nita Rose, and in this video we are going to talk about Volume 23 of Rave Master. And we are starting off with Chapter 183 titled A Lonely Step. The masked man is stuck on the toilet thanks to Branch as he and his partner go up on stage, do their performance, and score a 96. Ellie changes to her outfit as Branch came up to her. He takes a liking to her, asks her to be his girl, and then he asks her about his partner. But of course, Ellie turned him down. Branch leaves after saying some words that frightened Ellie, and that is losing her friends. The next competitor scored 100, which is probably the highest score they can get, and then Ellie decided to go in alone. Ellie took the stage as she started to feel nervous and uneasy, but then the music conductor noticed her image and played a song that Ellie seemed to recognize as her body started to move on its own to the music, making her feel relaxed, while suddenly the crowd seemed to be mesmerized by her dance. And some people seemed to recognize her as the dancing maiden, who turns out to be Raisha Valentine, who saved the village from a giant snake attack with her dance 50 years ago. While dancing, Ellie thinks about her journey, her friends, her past, and Haru. She wants him to remember her once her journey has ended. Man, if this was animated, this would be a tearjoy for me. Ellie has finished her dance and everyone in the crowd yelling out Raisha. Even the dancing prince can't compete with her. Ellie managed to score 999, which makes her first place and wins the $1 million prize. But then Julius starts approaching Ellie and gave her the plastic doll. He takes the mic and tells everyone that he's given up, which makes Ellie the new champion of the dance contest. Meanwhile, the assassin gets her second chance to kill Julius until Musica ends up finding her. He confronts the woman believing that she's unable to kill anyone, but she shoots him in the leg. The crowd had heard the gunshot believing that the demon cards were attacking. Haru and the others are heading towards the enemy up north, but then they are surrounded by men as Haru and Shuta are in no condition to fight. Musica is out as well since he just got shot in the leg, so Haru has no choice but to push through, but then he is rescued by these two contestants from before. The two contestants, the dancing dragons, turn out to be Let and his girlfriend Julia. Haru thanks him for saving their skin as Let is confused as to why Haru couldn't take them down as they are easy to take down. I mean, it is understandable why he questioned this since he wasn't there during the Berserk sword scene. Anyways, Julia suggests they go after Julius as it's their first priority, but Ellie wants to change her clothes, get her turbos, and catch up with the others later as Julia goes with her. Haru ends up finding Branch and demands him to tell where Julius is, along with Musica, who just showed up out of nowhere, and Branch tells him Julius's room number. Once they get there, the assassin beat him to it as she points a gun at his head. They learn that the girl is working for the military and she was sent there to kill Julius. But Shuta noticed that Julius is acting strange and he is no coward, and does have the ability to take everyone down in that room. Haru tries to reason with her by telling her that killing him is not going to stop the demon cards. Violence is never an answer. But the idiot girl is not going to reason with him as she believes that taking Julius's life will have the demon cards retreat. But Haru tells her that what she is doing is no different what the demon cards are doing. The girl thinks that Haru is a naive kid and doesn't understand what's going on and feels disappointed. But then Haru tackles her and tells him that he's the one disappointed, telling her that life is not worthless and violence is never going to solve everything. Musica uses his silver alchemy to break her gun as Ellie and Julia made it after Haru demands Julius to have his man retreat, but Julius told him that he didn't order those men to attack. They don't believe him, but then the Blue Guardians radio him telling him that the girl with the Ethereon is in the area and their goal is to capture her. They wanted a response from Julius, but he denies telling them because he was amazed by Ellie's dance and refused to be her enemy. Musica asks the assassin if he still wants to kill Julius, but then he noticed blood from her lips and discovered that she's trying to commit suicide. While the crew was trying to help her, Branch heard everything and learned who Mika really was, and told himself that he will survive no matter who or what he will sacrifice. Haru and the others are in the village hospital as the doctor was treating the girl's injured mouth. Musica is upset because he realized that she doesn't value her own life, and then a couple of people from the crowd came in to see Ellie as they were amazed by her dance. But then they received a message from the Blue Garden and surrounded of the village and demand to hand over Ellie, who they now found out is the girl with the Ethereon. But the villagers and Haru refuse to hand her over and is ready to fight to protect the village. Once they are outside, they notice a giant-like insect attacking the area and the village is demolished. The enemy has given them a final warning to hand over Ellie, but the elder told the enemy that the girl was not there and if she was, they will not hand her over. He also reminds the villagers that she is the dance maiden from 50 years ago and the reason that the village still exists. So they protect Ellie with their lives, but then they notice that the monster has stopped attacking as Branch announced to everyone that he has Ellie, but in truth it's just the assassin girl saying that she is Ellie. Branch lies to make the Demon Card members believe that they captured Ellie and have them go back to their base. But Branch suggests that they should destroy the village because not only that the Rave Master is there, but also the Freedom Fighters and the traitor Shuda. The monsters start attacking the village again as Branch commands it to destroy them all. So Haru and all the villagers did everything they could to take it down, and Ellie has decided to take a stand. She doesn't want these people to die just for her and wants more memories that she can remember. The monster blasts a beam at them to take them out all at once, but then suddenly the giant snake from 50 years ago came to protect them. The snake demolishes the monster and saves the village, but right before it leaves, Ellie grabs its attention as she asked it for a ride. The snake agreed, which shocked the crew, but then they decide to save the assassin girl. Haru and the others ride the snake to rescue the girl who has been kidnapped, and later Branch takes the girl to the Blue Garden headquarters, and as we are introduced to this guy, he takes him to a jail cell as Branch kicked her inside, but then he gets locked up himself as Big Eye knows that the girl he brought in is not Ellie. He recognized her as Nagisa, the daughter of Yuma, who is the leader of the Freedom Fighters. So not only you get to learn the name of this girl, but we also learn the organization known as the Freedom Fighters. So Branch gets threatened by the big guy to gather information from her. Once the guy leaves, Branch turns around to Nagisa and starts to beat the shit out of her to try to get her to tell them the location of the Freedom Fighters, but has no luck with her since she keeps fighting back. Then the small koala guy came around and brought some tools for him to use. Branch may be a scumbag, but even he thinks this is taking it too far. But since he is a coward and doesn't want to get his own ass beaten, he has no choice. Meanwhile, the big guy from before decided to go back to the village, but then learned that the Rave Master and Ellie are on their way to their location, or more like they're already there. Haru and Let are facing the big guy while Julia, Musica, and Ellie are on their way to save Nagisa. Let and Haru suddenly start falling to the ground unconscious. It turns out that Haru and Let are in a deep sleep due to the power of this guy's Shadow Stone. While sleeping, Haru is getting swung, thrust, stomped on, and just getting beat up by this big guy. Meanwhile, Ellie, Julia, and Musica found Nagisa in a jail cell, brutally injured. Julia sees her breathing and rushed to her aids alongside Ellie, as Musica couldn't bear to see the sight of her like this. Ellie feels ashamed because she believes it's her fault as Julia tries to calm her down. And then Branch came out of the shadows with tools in his hands. Branch kept screaming at her, begging her to tell him the location of the hideout of the Freedom Fighters. Julia was about to go in for a punch, but Musica got to him first and beat the shit out of Branch. Nagisa saw this happening and finds it strange that people that she doesn't know tries to help her. But Julia advised her that they're not strangers and that they're taking the same path. She embraces her and tells her that she has a chance to live and that the Blue Guardians will pay for what they've done. After Branch was taken down, Koala Man came in through the wall with a giant machine, and then 2 seconds later, Musica took him down with one punch. He goes on a rampage until they get to the place where Haru is getting beat up by the big guy. The big guy uses sleeping power on Musica, but it has no effect because, well, just look at that face saying, how can anyone sleep when they're this pissed off? If I was too angry about something, I won't be able to sleep either. So Musica takes down the big guy and Julia came and told him to escape the planet. She also found Let and Haru on the ground sleeping, thinking that they're being lazy. But then Griff explained everything to her. They hijacked the plane and took the wounded to the closest hospital. Later, the big guy and Koala Man woke up as they seemed to come up with an idea to get back at them in the next volume. And that wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out my other parts on TikTok, and don't forget to look me on Discord and X. And I'll see you all next time. Nita Rose out.